So today I want to talk about what I would do if I was starting stacking all over again from the beginning. If I had no gold or silver, what would I start doing? So I see a lot of people in the comments who are getting excited about starting or questioning starting, or they have just made a start, making their first purchases and want to buy more gold or silver. So based in the UK, I would say that you want to focus on the capital gains tax exempt gold, ideally. And as a basic guideline, you want to ideally buy the lowest premium gold closer to spot as you can. So a few caveats to that. It does depend what the gold is. Some gold is more desirable than others, so just watching the market for a while, you'll come to realise what people are preferring, what people are buying, and there's a few sort of easy mistakes to make, like if you're a beginner, you might sort of see proof coins that have got a low mintage from various mints, and you might think, oh well, they're limited, so they must be worth more. So sometimes they are, but often they're not. So that's something just to be wary of. If you're going to go down the more collectible type things, you want to be perhaps a bit wary, and perhaps just watch the market for a little bit on those. But if you're just looking to stack basic bullion and get exposure to gold, I'd say first of all, you want to make sure that buying gold, physical gold, is actually the right decision. So for some people it makes sense, for others it might not really fit with your plans. There are obviously options like storage and vaulting where you can buy your gold and have an ownership of the gold, although not actually take delivery of it. So some dealers offer that, some other companies offer that, so you can have your gold in another country around the world if that's your thing, and maybe they'll be kind enough to let you go and visit one day. But yeah, if that's your thing, that is an option. Some of the advantages with that, it's easy, you don't have to actually take delivery, you don't have to physically buy it and sell it. If you do want to trade in and out, you can just literally own it, sell it, and there you go. But as the saying goes, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And for that reason, a lot of people who are into stacking in general are a fan of actually having the physical bullion, because that is why they're into gold in the first place. So in terms of what you should buy, ideally you want to stick to what is liquid in your area as best as you can. So for example, a good way of looking at it is to see what dealers are actually paying for coins in your area, and perhaps if you've got coin shops nearby or dealers nearby or coin shows, you could pay a visit and just see what's going on there. If you haven't, then perhaps you could look at your online dealers that are available to you and sort of see what's going on there. And if you're a fan of the sort of online marketplaces, those various forms, then you could take a look on there as well. So for example, you might find that a dealer is selling something like this at a 5% premium, just off the top of my head, but they might only be paying 3% under spot for it to buy it back. So if that's the case, then there's an 8% spread there, and you've got to get the gold price has got to move 8% your way to just break even if you're buying and selling via the dealer. Maybe another coin though, such as, let's say, a tenth, maybe they're selling at a 10% premium, but they're actually buying them back at a 2% premium. So it sounds better, but you're actually the same off. It doesn't really make any odds. But then there might be a nice happy medium in the middle. Maybe there's just a nice, stuck to my glove, there's a nice happy sovereign. Oh, and always wear gloves when you're handling sovereigns and capsules. You don't want to get fingerprints on the capsules, of course. But now, jokes aside, just hard-working hands, and that's all. You can touch your gold as much as you like. Really, not going to change it too much. But if you have proof coins, you don't want to really be getting fingerprints on those. And some collectors, maybe a bit fussy if coins have been handled, but ultimately bullion doesn't really matter. It's just bullion. But yeah, obviously collectibles, be careful, don't go throwing them around. So in terms of a sovereign, maybe they're buying back these at spot and selling them at a 3% premium. In that case, the spread is lower than the likes of the other coins. So I didn't, get those specific figures, that are not far off, but they do obviously vary and change by the dealer and also by their stock levels and by the market demands in general. So In the UK, I think the best sort of thing that we could have bought years ago, up until now, is probably sovereigns. They seem to have done, the best in general. The 1 ounce coins, the Britannias are proving to be the most popular, and typically the dealers will give you a better buyback price on a Britannia at the moment than they would on a Tudor Beast or even a Queen's Beast, although they will sell those with a premium. So I think the sort of best thing is the higher liquidity and the more common coins. So it depends, if you want to purely stack or if you want to start a bit of a collection. Then if you are going to start a bit of a collection, get a few nicer items, then just be wary that will eat into your profit margin or your margins by a few percent. But it might increase your enjoyment of the hobby. Maybe it's maybe the financial aspect is a secondary part of it. You could easily have a number of other hobbies that would not pay you anything and just cost you a lot of money. Maybe you get some enjoyment from them, but if you're looking at the financial side, there's plenty of hobbies where you'll buy equipment or outlay for, going to places to do the hobby or things like that, and you'll get very little back. Whereas if you're buying coins and collecting gold coins, then, you've still got the intrinsic gold value of it. It's not like you're going to buy it and then it'll be nearly worthless because it's been used. It'll be, worth the same, more or less. Maybe minus your spreads if you've bought from a dealer, or like I say, if the gold price moves a little bit. So the gold price in general obviously can move as well. So for that reason, if I was starting out, I would be wary of buying all my gold all at once. Now, funny enough, my first year of buying gold was the lowest price. Gold was below £1,000 an ounce there. So a sovereign, a full sovereign like that was about £230. Didn't buy any Britannia quarter ounce at the time, but they were probably mid 200s. And I did buy a 1 ounce coin at the time, which was 900 and odd, something pounds. I can't remember exactly, but below £1,000 for the ounce. So where gold is now, obviously over double that. It looks like, great idea. Should have bought more. Should have bought all of it all at once. But the price could have gone down. If I'd been 5 years earlier and the price sort of, trended up and down a little bit, didn't really go anywhere, just sort of trundled along, then in that case I would have wished that I waited. So thing is, with the gold, it might have periods where it does really well, moves quite a lot, might have periods where it doesn't move that much. I think from memory, the year before, like 23 to like start of 23, year 2023, basically start of 23 to end of 2023, I think there we had around 6% move or 8% move on gold, but it didn't really fluctuate that much through the year. And then, when you look at last year, obviously, really sort of soared up there by quite an amount. So there could be years where gold goes down, and in that case, you will wish that you didn't buy all your gold at once, especially if you're new to investing and you're not used to seeing like the value of things go up and down. Imagine if it's your first time buying something, then you probably see your quarter ounce and think, oh, I bought it at, £550. Now the dealer's selling it at 549. Oh, it's going down. And then next minute they're selling it for 146. And you're thinking, oh man, I'm like £5 down. But, just stick with it. And like I say, if you're just going to buy on a nice sort of steady basis, rather than going all in all at once, just buying steady over time and just getting a feel for the market, getting a feel for how the price moves, then you can just start averaging in. And if gold does go down, obviously you will be able to average your costs down. And then if it goes up, then you might be paying a bit more for your next piece, but that's good because what you hold is worth more. So it's a win-win or a lose-lose, depending how you look at it that way. But you can look at the long-term trend of gold and say that in fiat terms it is worth more in general as it goes up. So the other thing you could do is look at the ratio of gold to other assets, but that's something for another topic. I'm going to assume that you've decided that going into some gold is is part of the plan. So that is today's video. Basically, to summarise, you want to get the most liquid, lowest premium in a decent condition, and consider what you're going to do to sell. Also, number 4, make sure that you are going in a steady, civilized manner, and not just going crazy. You know, gold price is probably not going to double overnight. It's probably not going to go to $10,000 an ounce tomorrow. You know, whatever you might have heard, some of the sort of more outlandish claims on gold prices, they might come true. Maybe they're a bit lower probability, maybe they're high probability. You know, that's for you to decide. But what's served me well is just going nice and steady, averaging in gently over time, and just keep buying small increments, not overstretching, and leaving yourself some money for emergencies so you're not forced into a position where you have to sell. So if I've missed anything, let me know in the comments, and appreciate your questions. Let me know, and we'll talk to you on the next one.